Lisa Ducharme's life reads like a bridge between two eras of American service. She went from 28 straight hours of casualty duty at the Pentagon on 9/11 to building an entire ecosystem designed to help veterans turn their own experience into economic power. Welcome to the Celebrating America 250 podcast. This series is dedicated to the men and women who wore the uniform and then came home to build, invent, and lead in ways that reshaped our nation. Across these episodes, we honor veteran innovators from every era of American history. Warriors who became entrepreneurs, engineers, organizers, and visionaries, carrying the mindset of service into factories, farms, shipyards, laboratories, and boardrooms. In each story, we will trace a simple arc: where they came from, how they served, the moment they pivoted to civilian life, what they built, and the legacy they left behind for all of us. This is not just about dates and titles. It is about courage under pressure, resilience in transition, and the quiet, determined work of building a stronger country in peacetime. Interesting fact: on the night of September 11th, 2001, Lisa Ducharme sat at a plain government table in the Pentagon that was never meant to be a command post. For 28 consecutive hours, she served as the on-site Air Force casualty representative, documenting every call, tracking every name, and making sure no one disappeared into the chaos. She remembers it as proof that when the architecture of a system is built by people who understand the stakes, it can hold under a load that should break it. Years later, she would take that same mindset and apply it to a different kind of crisis, the quiet collapse in veteran entrepreneurship, and start building a new kind of support structure from a desk in her spare room. Early life and background. Lisa Akins, now Lisa Ducharme, grew up as the daughter of a retired Air Force Vietnam veteran and a sister who sold protest records. Under one roof, she saw two Americas, the one that went to war and the one that decided the war was a moral failure. From that childhood, she learned something most people do not see until much later. The country's relationship with its military is not fixed. It is a weather system. Sometimes it honors service, sometimes it turns away, and the people in uniform get left standing in whatever climate the culture decides to create. She carried that awareness with her when she enlisted in the United States Air Force in 1986. The military she joined was still rebuilding itself after Vietnam. The draft was gone, the all-volunteer force was finding its footing, and "thank you for your service" was not yet automatic at the airport. Leadership under pressure. In uniform, Lisa specialized in personnel, decorations, and casualty affairs, the place where crisis, systems, and human dignity intersect. She worked cases tied to 3 terrorist attacks: the 1980 shooting attacks in the Philippines, the 1996 Khobar Towers bombing in Saudi Arabia, and, most consequentially, the 9/11 attack on the Pentagon. On September 11th, 2001, the Pentagon's air did not smell like power. It smelled like hot wiring, concrete dust, and burned paper. Lisa sat at the table and turned it into a control node. Phones, legal pads, lists of names, timestamps for every status update. Her job was deceptively simple to describe: account for every person, document every call, connect with all the agencies so they knew who she was and what she did, and make sure every question went somewhere real instead of evaporating into noise. By hour 20, her hands hurt enough that she switched from cursive to block letters just to keep her notes legible. When no playbook existed, she drafted guidance for identification procedures and even began writing the decoration guide, because she knew those requests would come in a wave and refused to let the system slow things down. For that work, she received the Air Force Commendation Medal for Act of Courage, but the deeper impact was internal. She saw how well-designed systems, run by people who understood their purpose, could carry almost unimaginable weight. The pivot, carrying that mindset into civilian life. Lisa retired from the Air Force in 2006 with 2 decades of high-stakes experience behind her. On paper, she looked like someone who should have had an easy glide path into civilian success. Instead, she ran into what many veterans face and few talk about openly: underemployment, identity whiplash, and a sense that the systems built to help her were incomplete. A layoff in 2012 forced her to do something she had not done: actually engage with the veteran support infrastructure she had bypassed. What she found was a glaring gap. Plenty of programs taught resumes, interviews, and small business mechanics, but almost no one taught veterans how to become veterans, how to integrate their service identity into civilian life instead of leaving it behind. She realized something simple and unsettling. The transition pipeline was built to move people out, not to anchor who they were or what they could build next. That insight was her pivot point. Just as she had once stabilized the casualty situation under crisis, she now decided to treat veteran entrepreneurship as a systems problem, one she could redesign. What she invented, founded, and grew between 2013 and 2025, Lisa Ducharme did not build a single company. She built an ecosystem. Aside from her business, she founded the Massachusetts Veterans Chamber of Commerce, creating formal structures for advocacy, networking, and economic development. At Westfield State University, she launched the Military Community Excellence Center, helping turn the school into a recognized leader in veteran support and later teaching as an adjunct professor. She also helped extend the Sea of Goodwill concept she learned from Marine veteran Michael Zukaya at the University of Connecticut's Entrepreneurship Boot Camp for Veterans. Initially attending the program and helping with admin and photography in 2014, throughout that year, Lisa and Mike would talk over different veterans' business challenges. Mike brought her back every year to help with the veteran businesses, take photos, and to help with admin. After Mike's death in 2022, she stepped in as entrepreneur in residence for the cohort. From her home office, she treated data and reports the way a builder treats lumber and steel: census tables, SBA analyses, Kaufman studies, IVMF reports, RAND reports. Each source had to prove it could carry weight before she used it to support an argument about veteran business decline. She codified what she was learning into books, titles like From Duty to Destiny, Becoming a Veteran, We Are Stronger Together, and Becoming a Veteran Business Influencer, turning scattered lessons into a repeatable framework for turning service into a strategic business asset. Operationally, she ran highly structured support rhythms: daily virtual sessions during the early COVID months, long-running morning mission coffee hours every Wednesday, and short, research-heavy coaching calls designed to respect a founder's time but still deliver real movement. She also moved early to help veteran entrepreneurs use AI responsibly, teaching them how to build prompt playbooks, protect their brand voice, and treat AI as a force multiplier rather than a replacement for judgment. In every case, the pattern is the same: identify a structural gap, build a piece of architecture that closes it, and document it so others can replicate and improve it. How it changed lives, industry, and community. Lisa Ducharme's work lands at a critical moment. Nearly half of World War II veterans started their own businesses. Today, post-9/11 veterans start businesses at roughly 5%, lower than their civilian peers. Her Veterans Chamber books and networks are part of a deliberate counter-offensive against that decline. They reframe veteran into a competitive advantage that can be deployed directly in the marketplace. Culturally, she is working on shifting the conversation from "how do we get veterans hired?" to "what could they build if they were told the truth about what they already know how to do?" Institutionally, the models she created, Veterans Chamber structures, University Military Center, AI-enabled coaching practices, are built for replication. Her explicit focus on succession at the Massachusetts Veterans Chamber shows she sees legacy not as personal brand, but as durable infrastructure other leaders can inherit and strengthen. Technologically, her push for practical AI literacy positions veteran-owned businesses to lead, not lag, in the next industrial shift, bringing military values of integrity, accountability, and service into the AI era. At the heart of it all is one simple message she writes directly to the next generation of veteran founders. Your veteran identity is not a problem to solve. It is the strongest beam in the structure you are trying to build. From a casualty desk at the Pentagon to a kitchen table stacked with data binders and manuscripts, Lisa Ducharme is spending time doing one thing: making sure the architecture around veterans is strong enough to carry the weight of what they are capable of building next.